Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, again, how do you build trust? You build trust mainly by doing what you said you're going to do. By being truthful. If you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, you are going to have a very low credibility rating. So Russia has a very high credibility rating, good or bad, in the fact that when they say something, it seems to, follow through with that something. Now, good or bad, as I said. In this case, we have an article that will tell us something that the Russians already told us about 5 months ago, and more than 5 months ago, and more than 5 months ago, and the Western countries denied it. And now the Western countries come and say, well, actually, that's a possibility. What does that mean? That means that Russia actually will be more trustworthy. When Russians come and tell you something, and that will be told by the other guys that now they deny it, you say, okay, so the Russians were right then when you guys denied what the Russians said. And now you come and say, well, you know what? Actually, that's true. So let's see what's going on over here in this article. In this article, it comes from the New Voice of Ukraine from September 14th, 2022, and it says that world must be ready for Russia's disintegration. US general says. That's exactly what Lavrov, Putin, Peskov, all these guys came and said it out loud many, many times. I heard them. I saw their statements. I read them. So all of a sudden now this guy says, well, the world must be ready because we're planning it. And when those guys said, that's exactly what the West wants. The problem is, will that be beneficial for the West or is it going to be detrimental? We're going to find out, right? So let's see what this gentleman is saying. And I'm quoting, "It is becoming increasingly clear that Ukraine is going to win this war and that the Kremlin faces a historic crisis of confidence," Hodge said. "Indeed, I know," so this guy is a Ben Hodge. "Indeed, I now believe it is a genuine possibility that Russian dictator Vladimir Putin," it was a parenthesis, exposed weaknesses are so severe that we might be witnessing the beginning of the end, not only of his regime, but of the Russian Federation itself." According to Hodge, the potential Russian collapse could be gradual before it suddenly becomes abrupt, violent and chaotic. "If we fail to prepare for the possibility in the way that we failed to prepare for the collapse of the Soviet Union, it could introduce immense instability in our geopolitics," the general wrote. He noted that there are at least 3 factors at play which could precipitate Russia's disintegrating. The first is the breakdown of domestic confidence in the Russian army, which has traditionally been at the core of the Kremlin's legitimacy, Hodges said. Its humiliation in Ukraine is now almost complete, with a proud Black Sea fleet still hiding behind Crimea, too frightened to take actions against a country that doesn't even have a navy. The article then moves on to point out that the degradation of the Russian economy as another source of instability. Second, the damage suffered by the Russian economy has been too devastating to sustain a population of 144 million people, said the general. The loss of energy markets, which compensated for the country's lack of modern industries, cannot be reversed. European governments will not rely again on Nord Stream 1, having witnessed now how easily it can be turned off, and are already making long-term investments in domestic energy supply. Finally, Hodge suggests Russia's demographics make the state more brittle than it may seem. For despite possessing 70 times the landmass of the United Kingdom, the Federation has just twice the population, he writes. What about Canada? Idiot. These numbers make civic solidarity difficult to achieve in the best of times, but now with the metropole in a weak position, any sense of national identity could rapidly deteriorate. How about Canada, you? Alright, let me fuck this guy up, okay? Alright, let's take it one by one. He's an idiot. Alright, here is it. It's becoming increasingly clear that Ukraine is going to win this war. Why? They had one victory. Are you crazy? Are you a general, or what are you? Reverse the roles. Let's say Saddam is Ukraine and you are Russia, United States. Imagine that this would happen. Do you think this general would come and say that? He's going to say, no, that's 1,300 kilometer war line. My God, the front is this big. That's just a tiny thing of it. It's just a little thing in the north. Unimportant. Look at the front. Look at how big it is. And you see over there, okay, is that the end? The end. How? I mean, do you think this is Stalingrad or something? That you have resources as you... It's unbelievable. But that's the first one. He's a general, right? So his victory of Ukraine for 1 or 3 days, that they still have it, I don't know what's going on right now, he concludes that that's the end. That's the end. He extrapolated. He just overemphasizes, injects it with all kind of, testosterone and unbelievable steroids and whatever he wants. Now, let's go with the second one. Unbelievable. The one is with the economy, right? The economy is, he says, oh my God, the economy is going to be gone. The economy is going to be gone. Where? Didn't they just going to build more, pipelines with China? They didn't lose anything. They make astronomical profits according to the Western experts, not with the Russian. The countries that are hit the most at this point are Europeans, not the Russians, not the US. The Europeans are. So what are you talking about? Well, and then the loss of energy markets. Where? In Europe, they're gonna have it's a big world out there, Hodge. Unbelievable. This where? Nord Stream 1. Okay, done. Did you read that these guys are building the pride of Siberia or something, the biggest pipeline, that natural gas that goes to China? Did you read that? Are you up to, or you're still 50 years back with your... All right, let's go to another one. The other one is the landmass. He says that the landmass and the population. So it's a problem there. But Canada, will you say the same thing about Canada? Can you say the same thing probably about Australia? And if not, why not? Oh, because those are good people. So you tell me. Canada has a population of what? 35 million people, at the most 40. I'm just making it bigger. 40 million people. Did you look at the mass of Canada? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? So, this guy is just an idiot. This is what I'm going to say about this guy, okay? About the military. Yes, it's true. It's not what other people expected. Yes, they're going to be done in 3 days and a half. They're not. Did they lose respect, the army? I think so. I think I give him that. I'm okay with that. Because some people, and I personally thought that these things will happen, probably will be done in about, 2-3 weeks. That's what I thought, but nothing happened. And then, okay, let's say this disintegrates. If it disintegrates, what would be the outcome? Is a desirable outcome or not? Because instead of having one country with a nuclear arsenal, you might have 5 countries with nuclear arsenal, each of them. Or 2 or 3. And who's going to be in charge of those? What thug will be in charge of those? And you need a lot of money to buy that thug, to give his weapons away, like North Korea. Do you think will do that? No, he's going to keep it. He's going to say, give me money, otherwise I blow everything up. So you're going to have, instead of 1 problem, you're going to have 5 problems, or 4 problems, or 3. More than 1 anyway. So where is this advantage? Where is this fantastic thing? I mean, that's the same reason why the Russians did not eliminate Zelensky. I'm 100% certain if they wanted, they could have done it. Not because they couldn't, but you kill this guy, and what's next? There's going to be either another weasel appointed by Washington, right? By Washington, or we're going to break in a few little warlords, and you're going to create a big civil war within Ukraine. Is that a good thing? Instead of dealing with 1 idiot, you have to deal with 5 idiots. You want to do that? It's harder. Doesn't make sense. And besides, Zelensky has no power. The guys are telling him what to do. It's going to be another guy. Zelensky goes out, and then Rammstein comes in, or I don't know, Wittgenstein, or Kosman, or something like that kind of, you know what I mean? What is going on here? So this guy, Hodge, is just, I think he just exaggerates a lot of things, you know? And then when he exaggerates, he makes points of the big exaggeration. Yeah, everything makes sense. Everything makes sense if you make it, it's like, this is it. But it's not. Russia did not lose, are still having the territory. Yeah, they were stopped, that's true. The second thing is what? They lost in what? In one counteroffensive, and that's it? Where is that going to go? We don't know yet. The military. Okay, the military, they still have the nuclear arsenal. They can always blackmail whomever they want on this planet. Right? They can do that. I don't understand. And then the landmass. The landmass and the population. 144 million with the biggest landmass. And say Great Britain. Well, you overpopulate over there and you still get immigrants. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Look at London. 50%, more than 50% are immigrants. It's great. Diversity is your strength. We'll see how that's going to serve. Like these guys here. Anyway, and this guy is an expert. He's a general. He's a general. I don't think he's a general. I think he's an activist. I think he's got an ideology and he gets things however he wants just to make his point. You know, so he has a narrative already, and he picks information from wherever he wants, ignores others that fits his narrative, and then he expresses it. But if you are a little bit above 86, which I think I qualify, I'm about 87 IQ, all right? I think I can point out certain things that are there. You don't have to be a genius to say this weasel. He's a general. Imagine how much power he should have in the military. He commands. Remember, this guy is in a war. How is going to determine the next move? All right. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.